and I want to give a shout out to East Knox and Danville celebrating their 65th Devil Dog game with 11 on 11 players, and we got a good one over there tonight at Tough Street if you were a Danville Blue Devil fan. Want to shout out also Aiden Riggle. They've been raising funds for him all season long. How about another $6,700 thanks to Howard Hilton and then also Jamie Fehrenbaugh and the family there making a donation. You see on your screen right now, and what was the 1960 squad that started everything, that was able to join the teams on the coin toss and then get into the game. Cy Wallace gets things started. That's not going to be the last time you hear that name here tonight. He was all over the field, but also, how about Nolan Ridgway getting taken out as the starting QB halfway through the season? Since then, he scored touchdowns in 5 straight weeks. Great adjustment from him, the junior new back. How about to the old back, the speedster in Cy Wallace gets his second touchdown, turning the corner there on East Knox. It would be 24-0 at the half. Let's take it to the third. Jax Lester, well, I thought he was going to go down, but all of a sudden he pops out and gets the first touchdown of this game thanks to the entourage that takes him to the end zone. That'd be their first score of the night, 24-6. Didn't get the 2-point conversion. Back to Danville. Blue Devils, are they back? Could they be back? Well, Cy Wallace, we saw how special he was in the postseason, and it's just about that time as he gets his third touchdown of the game right here in the third with 7 minutes to go in it. East Knox had a great third quarter. They put 2 straight drives together where they were able to get into the end zone. Landon Boyd caps the second score off here, and that would make it 38-12. Wallace, however, back at it. 180 all-purpose yards, make it 4 touchdowns on the night for the sophomore, stealing the show for a second straight year on senior night. And now the freshman getting a chance to throw this ball deep. He finds Aiden Mickley, and he will scamper into blue turf. Final score tonight, 52-12. Danville gets a statement win, and they are going to be cooking into the postseason. We were wondering over at Tough Street, was it going to be a home game? Well, not enough points from East Knox. Odds are they'll just have to go on the road and make a statement. But the way they played tonight, they could be one of those teams across the state that everybody looks at with a low seeding and says, wait, how are they making a run right now? But we just know that Danville is different because they just made a state Final Four last year. They lost some big pieces, but here they are now starting to put it all together. And we could see if that comes into a playoff run.
Absolutely, Jonathan. And you know what? Yeah, they weren't, no matter what, they were going to sit from 10-2 out in that region right now. And I mean, other than facing a Hillsdale squad, I believe Danville could be one of those teams that could beat anybody else in that region.
Yeah, 100%. And then we also have a couple of other teams in the area that we have gotten to see. Danville beat Lucas earlier on in the year. And with that Lucas win over Crestline that we're going to talk about later on, that could be an interesting sort of note that Lucas ends up with a higher seed. But nonetheless, this Danville team, they had a couple of rough losses, but they also had a good schedule that they played against. So kudos to Danville coming out, getting a 40-point win over your rival. That's the biggest thing here tonight as they win their 45th game in the Devil Dog series. And then also, before we toss it over to some other teams, I want to give a shout out to both of the new ADs. I put a post out today on our Facebook just giving them some love because they have been all over Knox County this week getting ready for this Devil Dog game. And it was a great time. And also shout out to Matt Bloom. Got myself a helmet for the setup.
That's awesome. Yeah, Coach Bloom and company, also Coach Beatty down at East Knox. They're great people. It's a shame that East Knox, the record ended up that way because they had some playmakers there. Just everything couldn't get together.
Yeah, 4 games they lost by 10 points or fewer, and honestly, 3 of the 4 I think they could have easily won. They had a 1-point loss to Cardington, and I'm thinking off the top of my head, they had a 1-point loss I saw against Northridge week 1 of the year. If those turn around, those could turn into some other wins down the road where some of those other blowouts that they got end up being a little bit closer and they could maybe sneak away. It's very similar to what I saw out of Mount Gilead last year when they went 4-6. They turned it around this year, obviously, going 9-1. We're going to talk about that in a moment.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can East Knox do the same? Maybe, but Mount Gilead, East Knox, we'll find out. Next year's going to be fun.